Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware of Bulldogs podcast. Today we're talking the big news in Fresno. Coach Hutson is not the coach of the Fresno State men's basketball team anymore. They have gone their separate ways. Cole is here to talk a little more basketball with us. Cole, how you been, man? It's been a long time.
I know. I think the last podcast we said we were going to be consistent.
Here we are. We're being consistent. We're back.
We made it back. I'm happy to be back, like talking ball. So I'm good.
Nothing
a lot
like
of
doing
new
it.
Changes in life in general too. So partly why we were inconsistent, but it's still got to watch Fresno State play. So
yes, that stayed the same. We still watched, but because of some changes in our lives, we did not sit down after every single basketball game and recap. It's a little much, but I had a ton of fun watching the boys play for the most part, and especially how the season ended. That was a blast. Those games were a riot. Yeah. We'll talk about it right now, Cole. Let's just talk about how the season ended. We talked a little bit about it on a Twitter space. So if you're on Twitter or X, follow us, beware_Bulldogs. But the Dogs played Wyoming, first game of the tournament, and we had lost by 30 points. Maybe 39 points to be exact. Yeah. And the first time we played them. Then we play them right after that, and we win. We did have Enoch that game, but we played a lot of small ball. We won that game, and then we went and played the number 1 seed, Utah State. Utah State did have a player injured, but once again, playing small ball and with lots of players in foul trouble. I think 2 of our players fouled out, actually, in Enoch and Isaiah Pope. Mm-hmm. We went to overtime once again and ended up losing to Utah State. Should have won that game. But the boys looked free and loose, looked like they were playing for something, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. So I enjoyed watching it. They played hard. And you know what, Cole? We heard Hutson say, we're going to play fast this year. They finally did. It took them all season, but they finally did. And they actually looked pretty good. And there's no reason that we should have waited that long. We know we've had good players or athletes this entire year. We just had to let them go, let them play. And he finally did that. And look how it turned out. Yeah.
Weaver had a season high. You know, I mean, you see guys playing that should have been stars all year. They finally had their breakthroughs last game of the year.
I will say, not seeing Tavares in was kind of sad. I think
all around, he didn't get enough playing time this year in general.
No, he didn't. Season recap, Cole. I mean, we kind of recapped it right there. Just once again, it's been the same story over and over again for Fresno State. You see the potential. You see the athletes that are on the floor. In my opinion, they're not put in the best positions to be successful. They're not developed the way they should be developed. And we have seasons like this. The second you put them in a system, like the last 2 games, where they can be successful, like run and gun, you run fast, have the guys drive and kick and just play hard, we're in it. I mean, that's kind of the story of the season. And they were a lot of fun to watch the last 2 games. I don't know if there's any other way to put it. If you, Cole, I don't know, season recap. Is there any other way you want to put it?
I have some stats, some fun stuff that I thought was interesting, kind of over analyzing.
Please.
Things which were fun, which I'll read off. But yeah, no, I thought the tournament was great. We out of the top 7 ranked teams in the Mountain West, there's basically no difference between the top 7 teams, right? But we matched up the best against Utah State, the number 1 ranked team. So go figure. I wish we would have. I mean, Utah State probably would have made it anyways. So I wish we would have beat them, made it to the big dance. I mean, so
right.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Let me look at my my stats here. So Caleb, I like looking at points per minute at the end of the year, which of course isn't a stat that the websites have. They just have total minutes played and percentages, field goal percentages, total points, all that stuff. So I calculated points per minute for the top
Per
9
player?
guys per player for the top 9 guys on our team.
And this is the amount of points that they scored for their minutes played, or how many points they scored in a minute?
This is what they averaged per minute throughout the year. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically who's on the floor scoring the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot that's not taken into account, like what type of shots they're shooting and how many shots they've taken. All that jazz is there's
Right.
no statistic for that, right? But this I like more. So our top scorer per minute, points per minute, was Tavares, who out of all the 9, I think he had the least amount of minutes played.
Well, it makes
So
sense. I mean, the guy
he
got the
scored
ball and went to the rim every time.
right, exactly. And he was the spark plug, man. He started the fire to get us going, and then he would get Hut would sit him down, and we're just like, yeah, okay. He had a bonehead play and a turnover because he's going 100 miles per hour, but we need that. We need that energy on the floor.
Right.
And so he averaged 0.479. I did it to 3 decimals. Point,
You're such a
0.479
nerd.
points
You're
per minute. I know. I'm sorry. And then the number 2 guy on our team was Donovan Yap with
Yep.
0.408 points per minute.
Oh man, I really enjoyed watching him play. Every time we talked, Cole, we were talking about Donovan Yap, and this tournament, he looked so good.
Yeah. No, Yap was he was our best guard probably on the year. All around guard. Number 3 was Ducell with 0.357. And then number 4 was Weaver. I won't read it off, but it's this minimal decrease or minimal difference between each tier from here on out. But Tavares, Yap, Ducell, Weaver is 4. Pope was 5 points per minute. Hill was 6. Boachi, Andre, Colomario. Colomario, big drop off. He had 0.252 points per minute, but his stats don't really show up on the stat sheet, so I can forgive him for that. But yeah, the guys who got the most minutes were actually I talked about that, and I wrote something that I can read to you, Caleb, if you want. I don't know
Please,
if you
yeah,
have any
sure.
comments on that, but yeah, Tavares and Yap, their minutes played. Now, obviously, Yap was hurt for a little bit this season, but Tavares, oh gosh, let's see. I'm looking up his minutes right now, Caleb. Oh, good. Tavares had 219 minutes, and he was the next worst was Andre. He was also hurt. He had 459 minutes. So there's no excuse. He should have had 500 minutes played this year. Easy peasy.
Yeah,
He was
I agree.
He was, based off of that stat, our best scorer. So go figure. Why our coach isn't coming back. Okay, here's what else I got, Caleb. Out of the 9 players who played 200 minutes or more, Tavares just 219 minutes. So all the guys I just read on this season, Hill had the most minutes, most attempted shots, and the worst shooting percentage on our team out of those top 9 guys. Isaiah Hill.
Okay.
Hill had the most assists and steals on the team, but he had the most touches as well, hence the most assists, and he guarded the player who had the most touches for the defending team the majority of the time, which kind of takes into account the steal. So he had the most opportunity for assists and steals. It makes sense.
Right.
But he was literally our worst shooter based off of his field goal percentage, I believe so. So our 3 worst shooters, Caleb,
Okay.
based off of field goal percentage, were Hill, Ducell, and Pope.
Yeah.
And
They
they
also took the
ranked,
most shots.
and yes, they shot the most shots. But they were ranked number 1, 2, and 4 respectively. Hill, Ducell, Pope in minutes played on the year. And Hill and Ducell both had over 1,000 minutes played. Ducell was our best 3-point shooter. I think that's pretty well known. However, he only shot 39.5%, which for our best 3-point shooter, I would hope it would be 40% or more. Um, and for example, on how bad our team was at shooting, Colomario, not to bag on Colomario, but he had a higher 3-point shooting percentage than Hill and Pope. 3-point shooting percentage, not field goal.
Next time I see Leo, I'm telling him, you got to shoot the ball.
You got to shoot the ball. But in his defense on why he doesn't shoot, I mean, Hutz got him in a spot where he doesn't want him shooting the ball, and he chews his booty out whenever he does shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, it's just when I was reading through that stuff and calculating that just how does somebody on the coaching staff not see this and be like, oh well, maybe Hill should stop shooting. Maybe we need to tell him to stop shooting and tell Colomario to start shooting. Maybe we need to not have 5 out of our 6 plays we're going to run tonight ran for Ducell, running back and forth, running off screens all night long, trying to get him these 3-point shootings. Like, maybe let's play up and down the floor and put in Tavares and Weaver. And so we can actually, and Yap, our best scorers, literally our best scorers.
I agree. And by the way, everyone, Miss Rachel is on in the background, so don't sue me, Miss Rachel. It's keeping my 1-year-old happy. So if you hear anything going on, that's what's going on. I agree, Cole. I mean, there is large pool of evidence of who our best players were and who scored the ball, who put us in the best position to score points and win ball games. And we could talk about, and I'll also say this, Weaver, Colomario, I don't know about Tavares, but they also put us in the best position defensively to win ball games.
Yeah, Hill got overpowered. Hill was overpowered all game long.
Oh, and that's the thing that makes Yap, I think that's what people like about Yap at guard is, he's a bigger guard. I mean, he's skinny, but he's taller. Hill is quick though, and don't get me wrong, he created a lot. I really like him off the dribble. He does a good job.
No, there's positives to take away for sure, but with the amount of minutes compared to everybody else, it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Right. Well, Mountain West tournament was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed watching the boys play, and the little guy is really trying to climb up here. I want to get to what happened after the game. Immediately after the game, Coach Hutt mentioned this is his last game as the Fresno State basketball coach. They're letting his contract run out. I think it was mutual. They didn't fire him. He's just kind of done. So, Colt,
what a surprise!
Yeah. We all knew it was going to happen. I think some people around the nation thought, "Oh my gosh, here we go again! Another coach that just mentioned this is going on right after the game." But everyone in the Fresno State world knew what was going to happen, what was happening. So no surprise there. So then it comes out. I'm going to share the screen in a second. As my little, there you go, bud. I'm going to share a screen to a Fresno Bee article that Robert Quada wrote about what happened last year with Coach Hutt. And say hi to Uncle Cole. And so then we can kind of, just if you haven't heard of what was going on, hold on, let me pull this up. Okay. So, and I'm going to read this to you. You can follow along. Fresno State was ready to fire basketball coach Justin Hutson last season, more than a year ago. After early success, the team's on-court results were slipping. Recruiting and player retention had become an issue, with a long line of players having left the program. The university received notice from the NCAA about possible rules violations and other alleged misconduct by Hutson and his staff, stemming from a tip from an anonymous caller. Hutson signed a 5-year contract when first hired, received a 1-year extension after his first season. and who's also heading into the final year of the deal. Change would be costly for the university. Under terms of his contract, Hutson would be owed 80% of his salary, if not retained, about $440,000. Even so, there were reasons for the university to make a move. Fresno State decided not to fire Hutson. Here's why. Day before Mountain West Conference tournament last March. I'm sorry, everybody. I got a whiner. Hold on. Oh. Sorry, bud. All right, here we go. Attorneys representing the coach sent a letter to University President Saul Jimenez Sandoval alleging racial discrimination against Hutson, who is black. Multiple university officials told the Fresno Bee. The letter implicitly threatened legal action against the university, said the sources, who requested anonymity because the school's investigation into Hutson's claim is still ongoing. So there were rumors about, there was a lawsuit filed. There's just an investigation going on. Nothing is set in stone as according to this. Fresno State, which in the mid-2000s paid out millions of dollars in high-profile Title IX discrimination cases brought by coaches and athletic administrators, took a cautious step back. I believe, there's been lots of lawsuits against Fresno State. We'll get to that. Rather than fire Hutson, the university initiated an investigation into his allegations, which the sources said revolve around a lack of financial resources for a basketball program that has fallen well behind in its conference. The Bulldogs coach, meanwhile, went back to work, they say, as a lame duck. Hutson's contract, worth $550,000 this year, expires on April 30th. So contract's not up until April 30th. He did mention he's going to be sticking around as a consultant. I don't know if they're renewing the contract after April 30th. It sounded like they were. I guess we will find out. Fresno State, which has dealt with injuries to key players in the second half of the regular season, has fared no better this season than last. Financial reality or racial discrimination. Hutson declined to comment for this story, saying he would address his future after the conference tournament. The university also would not comment on the letter or next steps for its basketball program. Fresno State is fully committed. This is quote, Fresno State is fully committed to supporting a robust and competitive basketball program. We are unable to provide further comment at this time, the university spokesperson said. University denied a public records request from the Fresno Bee for a copy of the letter alleging racial discrimination, citing its ongoing investigation into the matter. Building a case tied to racial animus or discrimination could be difficult for Hutson. I would agree with that. It's true that the basketball program is woefully underfunded when compared to others in the Mountain West. Fresno State, which gets no share of parking, concession sales, suite leases, or sponsorship at the Save Mart Center, ranked 9th out of 10 in the Mountain West in basketball expenses and was last in basketball revenue in 21-22. The most recent year financial data is available for every public school in the conference. But those same financial realities are largely true for every one of the Bulldog sports programs, not to mention 3 that were eliminated in 2020 to cut costs. Bulldogs football program, economic driver for the athletics department, had its operating expenses cut by more than $3 million over a 2-year period, down to 14 from 18. And then talks about women's lacrosse team suing the university. And while Fresno State has not kept pace with basketball spending in the Mountain West on its campus, the sport has come through the COVID-19 pandemic better than most. Basketball operating expenses increased by close to $600,000 from 1920 to 2022, 23, according to the financial reports athletics department submits annually to the NCAA. This is the second largest gain coming out of the pandemic for any of the sports programs on the Fresno State campus, behind only football. Women's basketball, by comparison, had its operating expenses increased by $182,000 over the same time period, ninth among all sports. So, what's coming next? I guess we'll finish it out. Fresno State conducted an investigation into the anonymous tips made to the NCAA, which was completed in August. Law firm did not fully substantiate any of the allegations from the NCAA source. It concluded the allegations made against the men's basketball program appear to have little support from those closest to the program. The investigation into the claims of racial discrimination was still ongoing when the basketball season started in November, and a university source said then that Hutson would finish the season. Okay, there you go. That's everything that was written. I wanted to share that with all of you. Sorry if you're on audio only and that was way too fast. We are on YouTube. Beware of Bulldogs. You can read along there. Cool. I don't want to get in too much trouble. So everything is alleged, right? Is that what they say?
So don't ask me any questions.
Not asking any questions. I mean, I guess we could say what we think, but my assumption, I could be completely wrong by this, and I don't know. Something probably may have happened with the basketball funds that they were supposed to have. I don't know. And that's why I have no idea. Maybe that's why they're keeping him around as a consultant. Hopefully, they're not going to court anymore. I don't know. We have no idea what's going on. And to kind of make everybody happy, he's staying on as a consultant. Don't know.
Consultant what?
Basketball. I could do that. I don't know. We have been. If they watch this, we have been consulting them. That's the whole thing that's going on.
I love, Caleb. Here's my feedback on it. When it said Hut was black, first of all, he's half black? Yes.
He's not as I have no idea.
Yeah. Honestly, if you didn't tell me anything, I'd think he was like half Asian, half Mexican. If we want to play racial politics.
Well, Terry Toomey is black. Our president,
black.
Yeah, and our president is Hispanic.
I was like, I thought you were talking about Joe Biden. I was like, okay.
No, the Fresno State president.
Yeah. I got it.
Hispanic. So I don't.
Diversity hires.
I don't know. Hey, what
the school does get a check, right, from the state if we do diversity hires.
I don't know. I have to be sure. I mean, I can't be 100% confident with anything. I don't know. I don't really care. I want the best person for the job. I don't care the color of their skin. I don't care what gender they are. I want the best person to coach our athletics teams.
No, I know. I just
and I want them to support our kids. That's what I want.
But our school is desperate for money, so if they get money for hiring someone whose skin is black, whatever. Hey, I need some complexion in my life. Tell you that.
You do. You could stand out in the sun a little longer for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that. I can tell you from the talks that I've had with Terry Toomey, he's not. That is not going to come into play, and I don't think anyone cares. I mean, I think they will care if someone was going to come out and say that, but who cares? I mean, we're going to hire the best person, and especially this basketball one, we have to win now. I mean, people are sick and tired. We got to grow this basketball program. We need to win.
No, yeah.
So I don't think that's even a talking point, to be honest.
What?
The fact
about,
what Hut said?
I was just making fun of the Yeah.
Well, I have no idea. So the thing that I took away from that is that the complaint has been and has always been. Rodney Terry complained about it being underfunded. Hutson has complained about being underfunded. That we've actually increased by $600,000. We're continuing to grow, and we're getting worse as a basketball team. So you're getting more money, but you're actually getting worse. So it can't be an argument anymore. And by the way, just so people understand where I'm coming from, Cole, you coach basketball too. You're the leader. You have to accept what's going on. You have to develop players. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter in the game of basketball. Here's my honest opinion. I bet you there's coaches out there that can put together a team on a blacktop with no money, but they'll have buy-in from the kids and they'll develop them. They will win basketball. They will win basketball games. It shouldn't matter how much money. So that's why I am not a fan of we're we're underfunded. We can't compete. But that doesn't, to me, that it doesn't make sense. To me, I just can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, I play in $20 shoes when I play basketball.
And you stink.
I stink just as much as the other guy that I'm playing against.
In $100 shoes.
Exactly.
Right. It's all about the coach, and there's proof in there. We made $600,000 more than coming out of COVID, and we've gotten worse. That's, in my opinion, that's because something's going on within the coaching staff that they just, I don't know. They called him a lame duck coach this year. Oh, I didn't say that. They said that, but
yeah, I can't believe you said that.
It encourages that attitude.
Right.
When you're not coming back and you threaten them with things. So anyway, short story long, I don't think there's any excuse. What I'm taking away, there's no excuse for money, to complain about money. Right? There's something to be said about, NIL and getting kids here and things like that, because kids, they just want to make money now. That's the reality of it.
But NIL's coming from a different space. That money.
I'm sorry?
The NIL money is coming from a different, it's not being funded by the school. Correct.
Yeah. And people are going to, they're starting to send their money that way. So, what we've talked about multiple times is that I think the main focus from here on out is going to have to be Terry Toomey stepping up as a strong leader of the athletic program. Tell the people behind the scenes where, I'm sure he has to go through board after board, and there's people pulling strings here and there, and he's got to answer to who's got the money. Now is the time, I kind of think of like Cat Williams. He's like, this is the year of truth and honest. Terry Toomey's going to have to stand up and say, look, this is what's going on. I'm the leader. Here's what has to be done. He knows he has to do it. And there needs to be, I don't know if he can do it or not, but he needs to go in and look at the deals that they've made, that the athletic program has made. And there's probably not a way to restructure deals, but he needs to go and make better deals, because the deals that we have with the Save March Center and the naming rights to the stadium are really bad. I mean, the athletic program is losing money on these things. And so if they're going to complain about money, they need to go make better deals. And I don't know if he can restructure contracts. I highly doubt it, but he needs to go make better deals for the athletic department. And that now should be Terry Toomey's job. More so than, right alongside hiring a great basketball coach.
Right.
That needs to be his focus. So I don't know, Cole. What do you think?
I don't have much more to say. I don't really even have much more to say on who they're going to hire. I don't want to speculate. I don't know much about that anyways, but I just hope I don't have much more to say about basketball in general. I hope the guys come out and visit at the winery, and I wish them the best in the future, because with a new coach, we might have a whole new team next year. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Here's some names that I've heard thrown around. I think the one we hear the most is Quincy Pondexter. He's the assistant at Washington right now. If you don't know who Quincy Pondexter is, he's got local ties, played at San Joaquin Memorial, played in the NBA. I would say he wants the job. That's what I would say. I would say he wants a job. Then there's the other name there's multiple names, and I'm going to bring up a couple. Ryan Miller, Creighton assistant. He was assistant at UNLV, New Mexico, Auburn, TCU, and at Pepperdine under Vance Wahlberg. I believe he's related to someone that runs a big collective, like an NIL collective. I think I've heard, maybe someone that was like a Rodney Terry coach that has a connection to Rodney Terry. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I believe Rodney Terry is probably telling his people stay away. Honestly, I would think that because Rodney Terry left. He left for UTEP, El Paso. Russell Turner, the Irvine coach. I don't think that happens because Irvine's good. I mean, he's having a lot of success at Irvine. He's winning 20 games this season. I don't think there's any reason for him to leave. The only reason somebody would leave, well, we don't have money. I don't know if, who knows. Vance Wahlberg, I've heard thrown around. I don't think Vance is going to be taking the job. I don't even think he wants it. I don't know. I have no idea. But he's coaching at Clovis West. He's done his Division I basketball thing. I think he's had plenty of opportunities to get back into it. I don't know. I don't think he wants that, in my opinion. Bobby Hurley, he may get fired at Arizona State. His assistant, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. One of his assistants played for us and Tark when Tark was here. He may be a guy on the list, which I wouldn't mind. And then the last name would be David Grace, an assistant at UCLA, I believe. I know he wants the job. So there's a lot of names out there. I'm sure we'll hear more come up. Here's my take on this, Cole, and it's taken me a couple days to get here. And there's a few different ways to look at this. And you tell me which way you want to go if you were Fresno State. You either hire a big name guy, like I would say Quincy Pondexter or a Bobby Hurley. Their name carries a lot of weight in the basketball world. Quincy Pondexter more so, and girlfriend calling you. Quincy Pondexter more so than most people in the Valley, I would say. And the reason you hire a big name is because of that. The transfer portal, you get, you have young kids who know who they are, and then maybe NIL opportunity. That like a Dion kind of hire, right? Trying to get as close to that as possible. Then you have the side of, okay, we need a proven winner, right? I've seen like I've seen the argument of, okay, Quincy Pondexter has never been a head coach before. Okay, understand? And so we need a head coach that is a proven winner. I get that too. And then you have, assistants that have been at winning programs or are related to Fresno State in some way, like at Arizona State. So I was thinking, okay, in my opinion, let's go with the biggest name guy that's going to bring in big name players. That's the guy I want. Mm-hmm. Now I'm along the lines of, I don't care. I want a winner. I don't care who it is. We have to win. That's what Fresno State basketball fans want. They want to win. That's all we want. And I've talked to two people today that have said, I don't care who it is. We have to win. We have to win.
At least compete.
Yeah. And, and here, the other thing is, how about develop the players?
Yeah, that's so tough with NIL now for a coach to commit to that. And for us not to have money, it's easier just to get the athletes that aren't getting playing time somewhere else and then just throw them on the floor and play fast and press and hope for the best. Because then you can't compete with anybody doing that, right?
Yeah, we saw it the past two games.
That'd be the easiest way to do it. Whether I feel like that's how any coach is going to do it with this shakeup.
Well, with the current team, I will, and that's why I say, like, you gotta, if you're gonna bring in a guy, he's gonna bring in some of his guys or recruits that he's talked to, players that he knows around the country, which is fine. That's like I said.
I
want
mean, I
somebody
would
that's going to
rather win with Valley boys. I want them to recruit the Valley hardcore because we have enough
What?
talent here that they can do it.
I agree. And I can tell you, I know that there's people in the Valley that were not sending our recruits to Fresno State because they didn't trust what was going on in the Fresno State basketball program. And I don't blame them.
I don't trust what's going on at Fresno State in general. It's everything.
True.
That's a whole nother issue, but yeah.
So there has to be a winner. And the last caveat, and this is going to throw a wrench in everything I just said, and it's going to make it really hard to hire a coach. The coach has to be invested in the community. Has to be. If you want people to show up your first season or your second season after you struggle through your first season, you have to get out in the community. I understand, you're required, you go to some Rotary meetings here, you make appearances on the radio there. It's not good enough for me. You need to be doing everything in your power. Get on the media team, on SIDs, whoever. Get me in front of every camera, every microphone, every club, and we're going to go talk about the basketball program, what we're doing, be transparent with people, be likable, and be able to take criticism and make friends. That's how you're going to sell tickets. That's how you're going to get butts in seats. That's how you're going to earn the trust from high school players and AAU coaches around the Valley to send their kids there.
Do open gyms once a week at a local high school somewhere, at a different high school every week. You do open gym. Practice with them if it's during season.
Send players to every high school. Go and just
take your whole team. You play.
Yeah.
Just play with local high schools. See what talent's out there.
They should be everywhere.
They would feel obligated to show up to the game if they became buddies with some of the players. I mean, it's real easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's just to actually do, right? It's going to cost money to drive them around and stuff, but just to start doing it, the idea of it is easy. Instead of just doing one camp a year with little kids and you get 100 kids, which is great. You should still do that.
Yeah, but I mean, the Fresno State basketball camp is dead. The high school camp is dead.
Oh yeah, they didn't have it, right? They didn't have it this past year.
I don't remember seeing anything. I know they did the little kids.
I think there were under 10 kids that signed up or something.
Yeah. So that has to come back. And this is what bugs me, Cole. It's like we can say, someone can say, yeah, that's a lot of work. Guess what? That's your job. If the second you come on as a head coach at Division I program, football, basketball, we've seen the football team put a huge emphasis on their 7-on-7 camp. And there's kids coming all the time. They say, oh, we got noticed at the 7-on-7 at Fresno State. That's a big deal. Fresno State should be doing that in probably every sport if they can afford it, but definitely basketball. Definitely. Right. There's no reason we can't be bringing kids from, St. Joseph's is in LA. They play in our section. Those kids should be coming to our camp. They should be bringing their friends that go to other LA schools. Up north, Modesto Christian, one of the top programs in the state. All their kids should be coming. And they're all the great kids up north. They should be pulling their friends to Fresno State camps. And then you have all the Clovis schools and it should be huge. The fact that we don't have it, it's mind-blowing to me. So the reason I want to talk about that is because there's a lot of work for whoever gets hired. There's a lot of work to be done. A lot. They're not coming into a situation where they're going to be handed the keys to a nice car and they don't have to do much. This is a remodel for sure. And I need somebody that's going to be tough enough. I think we want this. We want someone that's going to be tough enough and willing to be able to take that on.
Yeah, I just wanted a happy dude that loves basketball and has a great personality that I can easily get behind. That's too much to ask. Honestly, like Tedford on the football program, he's not sociable. He's not a likable guy when you really he's not charismatic, I guess. He's likable, good guy, but he's not super charismatic, little reserved. And the basketball team does not need that.
No. We need some.
We have to go make our fans want to like attract them. Hey, look, I'm super charismatic. I love basketball. We have a great team. We have great players. We really get the game going, and we have a great time.
Yep. I totally agree with that. So we need a charismatic winner. How about that? Last thing on the basketball coach, Cole, and then dinner time for me. Kind of the same talking point as when we talk about Fresno State football coaches. And would you rather have someone that's going to stay here for a while, it's going to take a huge contract elsewhere to pull them? Or are you okay with someone using this as a stepping stone to like a Power 6 basketball conference?
I mean, we don't even have a basketball culture here anymore in Fresno. And it's going to take time to establish. So obviously someone needs to stick around here for a while.
I actually disagree. I'll disagree with you in a sense that I don't think it matters. Does that make sense?
I mean, if we have one great team, brings in a bunch of people, and then he leaves, and then all our players leave with the NIL stuff.
That's true.
Then the following year, we could have a losing record, and second half of the season, nobody's showing up again.
That's true. I do think, because we've had 20 game wins. We had that twice under Hut, and we see where it's at now. So you changed my mind right now, Cole. I need somebody invested. We need someone invested. And all right, I got nothing else, Cole, about this Fresno State basketball deal. There's a lot on Terry Toomey's plate. I was talking with our buddy from Sideline Sports the other day on X. You could follow us, Beware Bulldogs, on X. We do spaces every once in a while. He said this might be a bigger hire than the football hire. And this is probably the biggest hire Terry Toomey has had, because football, right? Tedford leaves, DeBoer, obviously the guy. DeBoer leaves, well, Tedford's ready to go again. There's your football hires. Now, he had massive hires with water polo and volleyball. They did good. Overland was there. Baseball, he was on staff already, so there's your hire. Now, he still hired them, made those decisions, so they're good. But now he's actually going to have to actively go out and find a coach kind of outside of the realm.
But it has a bigger impact, because it's actually going to have a financial impact where it could make money. Where these other programs, there's no chance that they have to make money. They're not going to make money.
Correct. So this is huge. This might be the biggest hire this is the biggest hire in Terry Toomey's Fresno State career. So we'll see what happens. A lot of names are going to be thrown around. The state of California says 14 days. So it's got to be open for 14 days, open in quotes. They're going to put it on their website. So everyone go apply. And then after that 14 days, we'll know who the coach is. Heck, we may know who the coach is before then. 10 days. I don't know. We're not supposed to know, but all right. I'm going to get out of here and go eat dinner. Cole, I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me. This basketball season is very limited, but thank you. We'll have you on again.
Well, let's hope for a more exciting season next year. For the love of God. Yeah, if you feel obligated, please pray for our boys, our basketball boys, and our everybody involved in the process of hiring.
And you're supposed to pray. You got to pray for everybody. So pray for Hut too. So, pray for everybody in this process. If you can. All right. And pray for Cole and I, because we really need it too. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you guys Monday night, 7 p.m. We go live. Monday night, 7 p.m. We're live on YouTube and on X. YouTube, Beware Bulldogs. On X, Beware_Bulldogs. We'll see you guys there. Make sure you hop in the chat and let us know that you're here. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs, baby.
All right. I'm going to get ready to come over.
Okay. It says, please wait for your local recording to finish uploading.
Yeah, just leave it.
Okay.
Okay. See ya.
All right. See you. Bye.
No more.